Build habits that actually stick. The Absolute Ascension app. Link in comments.
You will win. You will win. You possess a power, an energy, a presence that is capable of anything. And I mean anything. That life that you dream of, the lifestyle, the freedom, the fulfillment, it is all right there waiting for you. But first you must win this battle. The battle between good and evil. By choosing good, you are choosing to be disciplined, loyal, and faith-driven. By choosing evil, you are choosing temptation, instant gratification, and sin. This is the only decision that separates you from everything that you so desire. Which will you choose?
It's really difficult for young people. I think more so today than ever at any time in history, because the distractions are so many and they're so engrossing. You know, if you get out of high school, you don't know what to do, and then you start playing video games and you're on social media, a day can slip by like that.
Yeah.
A day becomes a week, becomes a month, becomes a year, and before you know it, you're 30.
Yeah, right.
And you
That's
haven't
for
done
sure.
shit.
Yeah.
And that's really common. That's really common today. And I don't think we can ignore those factors, the factors of just engrossing distractions.
Life isn't forever. It finally comes to an end. One of the Beatles wrote, "All things must pass." The sunrise doesn't last all day. Spring doesn't last all summer. The sunset doesn't last all night. We all have periods of time, pieces of time. And when those pieces of time comes, what you've got to do is take advantage of each time that comes. At the longest, life is brief. At the longest, life is just a small period of time. So don't waste your springs. Don't waste the opportunity to talk to someone. Don't waste the opportunity to have a meeting. Don't waste the chance. Each spring that comes, take advantage of them, because there's just a few. Don't let them all pass. Take advantage.
Whoever brought us here, whatever brought us here, I cannot believe that this power brought us here incomplete for you to figure out along the way what you need to create. Meaning, the more you try to become someone, the more unauthentic you become, because you're moving away of what you are all the time.
What can happen if we decide, I'm gonna see what happens when I decide that I am qualified. What happens when I decide for myself that I'm gonna do something different? You know, one thing, Jocko Willink was in here last week, and one thing that's really been pressing with me that we discussed is staying motivated. And I have been finding myself more motivated, even when I do not feel like doing something, to do it. That my brain doesn't dictate how. My brain does not get to choose. My brain can feel a certain way, but it's not going to choose how I behave all the time. I just can't let it do it anymore. I'm going to have setbacks, I know. But if I'm feeling bad, that doesn't mean I'm doing bad. That doesn't mean I am bad. That doesn't mean that I can't still take some action. Because yeah, nothing changes if nothing changes, man.
Those steps for success, they're infinite. They are infinite. You cannot count them. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing it. Those steps are constantly shifting. You don't know if they're there. Sometimes you have to trust that the next step is going to be there when you can't even see it. And sometimes when you step on that step, you go right into quicksand. But you got to be able to pull yourself back out of it again. Winning is not about the trophy and the accolades. It's about the grind. It's about the obstacles. It's about the challenges. It's about the pain. Because now you felt and tasted something that you could only get through winning. Are you willing to do it again?
There comes a point in your life when you've got to make a choice. A decision that will define not just where you're going, but who you'll become. And that choice is this: to ghost everyone in silence and focus on you. Now, this isn't about running away. It's about walking away from distractions. Walking away from people who don't align with your purpose. Walking away from the noise, the chaos, and even the expectations that others place on you. This is about walking towards something far greater, yourself. Because deep down, you know there's a version of you that hasn't been unleashed yet. The version that's waiting to rise, to take over, to dominate. But let me tell you something. No one's going to hand it to you. And that's where most people fall. They think greatness comes from applause, recognition, or validation from others. They think their friends, their social circle, their followers will somehow push them to the top. Let me break that illusion for you. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about your dreams the way you do. Nobody cares if you're struggling in the dark. They're too busy chasing their own. Silence the world around you, because distractions are killers. They kill dreams. They kill ambition. They kill the fire burning inside of you. You've got to get rid of it all. The constant conversations, the meaningless social media scrolling. The need to be liked. The need to be noticed. Cut it off. You see, the world doesn't need to hear from you right now. What it needs is for you to disappear and do the work. And I'm not talking about the kind of work where you post your progress every day. I'm talking about the grind that nobody sees. The late nights, the early mornings, the sweat, the pain, the doubt, the fear. You need to face all of that alone, in silence. Because that's when real transformation happens. Not when people are clapping for you. Not when you're posting your latest achievement on Instagram. Number transformation happens when you're so deep in the grind that you forget what the outside world even looks like. You need to disappear to evolve. Imagine coming back as a ghost, silent but unstoppable. A ghost that no one saw coming and now they can't ignore. A version of you so undeniable, so powerful that everyone who ever doubted you can't help but watch in awe. That's the revenge. That's the redemption. And when you return, you don't come back with a bang. You don't need to. The bang is the work you've done in the shadows. The bang is in the way you've redefined yourself, in the way you walk into a room and own it without saying a word. Your presence will speak louder than anything you could ever say. That's what happens when you ghost the world for a while. When you focus entirely on your own journey. You don't need to explain yourself to anyone. You don't need to justify your silence. Silence is where power lies. It's where you recalibrate. It's where you figure out who the hell you really are. You get to break yourself down piece by piece and rebuild yourself into something stronger, something sharper. And you know what? It's going to hurt. Growth hurts. The loneliness will hurt. The doubts will eat at you in the middle of the night. But that's the price you pay to level up. If it were easy, Everyone would do it. But the truth is, most people are too afraid to face themselves in the silence. They're too afraid to let go of the noise, the chatter, the validation. But not you. You're different. You need that silence. You crave it, even if you don't realize it yet. Because in that silence, you'll hear the only voice that matters. Yours, and it will tell you what you need to do. It will push you harder than anyone ever could. It will reveal your weaknesses and force you to turn them into strengths. So ghost everyone. Go dark. Put your head down and grind. Don't tell people what you're doing. Don't show them until it's too late for them to do anything about it. Because when you come back, you're going to be unrecognizable. You're going to be unstoppable. You're going to be the best version of yourself. And no one will have seen it coming. And when you return, you won't need to say a word. Your success will speak for itself. Ghost the world. Work in silence. Come back as a force no one can ignore. It's time to disappear.
Doubt is such a strange thing. I mean, it's, there'll be times where you succeed and there are times that you fail. So wasting your time doubting whether you're going to be successful or not is pointless. It is. I mean, you just put one foot in front of the other, you control what you can't control, and then you see what the outcome is, right? If you win, great, you're going to have to wake up the next day and do the journey over again. If you lose, it sucks, but you're going to have to wake up the next day and do the journey all over again anyway. Right? So it's really pointless to sit here and debate or have doubt or this, that, and the other. You train as hard as you can, and you step out there and you let it flow.
When life gets dark, I mean at the darkest of times, there is a light within ourselves that can guide us forward. We have the choice to follow that light, that personal, enduring light that can carry us through on to victory. We are not victims, we are victors. Listen to your inner voice. You are a victory. You will succeed. You will come out on top. The best version of yourself is yet to be revealed to the world. You have the reserves of inner strength you have not yet tapped.
Don't let anybody ever tell you you're not good enough, okay? And so many young people think that they can't, or they don't have the potential, or somebody else is better. Forget everything about it. I mean, if you really want something bad enough, if you really, really want something bad enough, you'll figure out a way to get there.
I think having a sense of urgency is very beneficial, and understanding that your time is limited can aid you greatly. I think knowing that this is a temporary time, that we have finite lifespans, there's great power in that, because it motivates you, it gets you going.
Most humans who could ever exist never will. And so the fact that you exist at all is against stupefying odds of who gets born and who does not. Realizing this, you are you, I am me. We are alive. We get to die. And to get to die means you get to live. Any moment you spend squandering those moments you are alive does disrespect to all those who will never even be born.
I say chase your dreams, man. Do that thing, man, that keeps you up at night. That thing that bothers you, man, that makes you trip. You can't quit thinking about it. You wake up in the middle of the night, you got a new idea. That's what you got to chase. Because anything else, it's gonna disappoint you. I would hate to die and never do the thing I was born to do.
Your brain will tell you to give up. Your brain is a predicting machine, so it wants certainty. Giving up is certain. So in that moment, brain's gonna tell you that it's easier to give up. But if we're really honest with ourselves, the greatest discomfort of all is living with this feeling inside that you're not living the life you're meant for.
If you keep up your present disciplines and keep up the present pace that you're on, where will you be in 5 years? Boy, it's easy to say, hey, I haven't really thought about that. So now make this note. In 5 years, here's the probability. You will either arrive at a well-designed destination or an undesigned destination. Well-designed or undesigned. And I promise you, 5 years from now, you really don't want to arrive at an undesigned destination. Because you may very well wind up wearing what you don't want to wear, driving what you don't want to drive, living where you don't want to live, maybe doing what you don't want to do. Simply because you didn't design a better destination.
If you don't develop simply the ability to get up when you said you would, to eat what you said you would, to exercise because you said you would, to talk in a way to your kids that's patient because you said you would, you will never have the self-confidence to succeed in any environment. You won't.
You don't need to have everything figured out to start improving your life. Everyone looks for the exact formula to transform into their ideal self. You don't need the exact formula. You honestly don't even really need to know who your ideal self is. You just need to know what to do today in order to wake up a better person tomorrow.
You'll never be as young as you are right now. Don't wait to do shit. The time is now. Everyone knows this old quote of the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. And there's lots of things that you probably wish that you did 10 years ago. Lots of things that you probably think, oh, I'm too old to do now. And these are, once again, all limitations because you are the youngest that you're ever going to be today.
Your days are gonna pass regardless. This whole week, this whole next week, whether you can slack off or if you really push it, the time is just gonna pass. So this time, you got so much of it and it's just rushing away. So, it's up to you. If the time is gonna pass anyway, I think it's worth it to at least try to do something cool.
Self-love means taking care of your own needs and not sacrificing them all the time just to please other people. Too many of us, including myself and maybe you, will sacrifice our own needs, what we really need in our life, just to please other people, not to inconvenience them, not to make them uncomfortable. Maybe what you need to do is really pursue that dream you have right now, but you're not doing it because you don't want to make the people around you uncomfortable. Don't sacrifice your own needs just to please other people. That is not a form of self-love.
Ask what they should do as if it's some sort of mystery. The fact is, the true separator between progress and stagnation is the action taken on the simple things that are right in front of you.
If you want to be in a life that is full of equanimity, equanimity means the calmness of the soul, and a life that is full of peace, you need to be here now, focusing on what you can control. Not focused on the future, but focused on what you can do today. And by natural law, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. The universe will give you exactly what you deserve. Don't live a life of misery by living in the past or living in the future, but live a life of peace and equanimity by being here, right now.
You are getting through everything you're going through. I just want you to give yourself some credit right now. Like you are literally getting through everything you're going through.
No matter what's going on in your life is not permanent. Everything is going to change. It takes courage to be successful. It is far easier not to be successful. Misery will always have company. Success breeds contempt. If you don't want to make waves, be mediocre. Be normal and fit in.
One thing is for sure, I feel that I had the power to create my own destiny. I try to visualize every single thing in my life, not only believe it, but really feel it with every cell in my body. And I just want to send a message out there to every young person. Be in the present moment, forget about what happened in the past. Future is something that is just going to happen, but if you want a better future, you create it.
You got to come at it with that whatever it takes mindset. I don't care what I have to go through. I don't care who hurts me, who leaves me. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to become the person that I was meant to be. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to win. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get my family in a better situation.
You've got to bet on you. You believe in everybody else, you clap for everybody else, you support everybody else, but when are you gonna look in the mirror and believe in the darn person you see? It's about time for you to believe in you, because you've got it.
You are already enough, and once you can fully accept who you are and where you are, it allows you to navigate where you're going so much easier. Instead of feeling like, I'm not enough until I achieve this thing. I'm not enough until I get this person. My self-worth is in this external thing. No, your self-worth is right here. It's rooted within you.
Never regret making a decision you thought would make you happy, but it didn't. Never blame yourself for things you did that you thought would change your life, but it ended up not working out. You should be proud that you had the courage to give it a try. Not many people have that inside of them. Every experience taught you something valuable. Don't give up now, because everything is leading you to where you need to be.
This is it. This moment, that is it. No need jumping in the past, no need looking for anything in the future. You will not get more than you have right now. It's just here.
When you feel as though you cannot go one step further, when your body is tired and all you want to do is drop everything and give up, remember that this moment precisely is the moment the weak fall and the strong prevail.
To find meaning in life is a responsibility. It's not a present, it's not a gift, it's not fortune, it's not chance, it's not random. It's a responsibility. Every single thing that happens to you in your life, you either look and find meaning in it, or you don't look and you don't find any meaning in it, and it will just be suffering to you.
The thing about life is that it's not a thing. Life is a series of moments. The problem is that most of us are too busy to notice these moments as they come. We are not present, we are preoccupied. Marcus Aurelius contrasts this with the person who is able to be like the rock that the waves crash against, but eventually fall still. That's what presence is. Slowing down, being where your feet are, being in the moment. Greatness, happiness, contentment, these things are what life can be, only if we choose to experience them, only if we slow down, only if we show up and stay in the moment.
Performance without a purpose is one hell of a skill to have. No one there cheering you on, no race to prepare for, no finish line, no glory, no nothing. And yet, you still perform.
You're doing the right thing. You're doing everything necessary for your vision, for your dreams, for your goals. You're a good person, you work hard, but it just seems like you can't win, like you can't catch a break. Bad thing after bad thing happens. But if you just keep believing in the vision, if you do not give up, if you are optimistic about every single situation, eventually you will catch a break. Eventually, everything will start going your way.
Yes,
You will get out of this. You're getting out of this. I don't know who told you differently. You're getting out of this. But right now, you got to go through this to get out of this, to grow out of this, to help everyone else who is going through this. That's why you're going through this. Focus on the courage, the strength, the power, the ambition, the might, the light that you have to get through this. Focus on placing your attention on what is the good in what I'm going through.
If you're avoiding the thing you're afraid to do, let your heart lead the way. It's so easy to live life stuck in our heads, but that's where the negative voice and fear live. We overthink everything, and we believe in the worst case scenario. But have you heard the voice of your heart? It's pure, it's loving, it's vibrant. That's because there is no space for fear in your heart. It only speaks of what's best for you. When you let your heart lead the way, fear becomes nothing, and you become everything.
If you don't know what to pursue in life right now, pursue yourself. Pursue becoming the healthiest, happiest, most healed, most present, most confident version of yourself. Then the right path will reveal itself.
It is tedious, it is painful, it is lonely, because it is a game of just moving the ball down the field inch by inch by inch. It's not glamorous, it's lonely. As you start changing, everything around you starts changing, people around you start, it's not even fun in the beginning. And so you'd either have to have an incredible amount of hope or a ridiculous amount of inspiration and delusion, or you have to be in so much pain that the alternative to continuing this pain that you're in is to try something different, because it's the only thing that might be slightly less painful than what you're doing.
Sometimes you just have to let time do its thing. It's hard sitting in uncertainty, but clarity often comes from experience, not thinking and speculating. It's okay to feel lost. You're not falling behind, living life wrong, or missing out on anything. Life wouldn't be the adventure that it is if you already knew everything. So don't give up now.
Only a matter of choice. You choose your fate, not your circumstances. So will you choose to be remembered as someone who simply did not have it in them, who wasn't strong enough to get it done? Or will you choose to prevail and inspire the generations that will come after you? They are counting on you. The choice is yours.
So start policing up here. Watch what you're thinking. Start thinking more positive thoughts. I can do it. I'm gonna do it. I don't care how I feel. I'm getting this thing done. Because when you change your thoughts, those thoughts change the actions that you take. And those actions that you take start to create a life that you love.
We have two primary choices in life. We can either accept conditions as they exist, or we can take the responsibility to change them. See, a lot of people want to exempt themselves from taking responsibility. All they want to do is talk about the problem. Every time you see them, they'll tell you their story over and over and over and over again. No. You want to take responsibility for your life. I got me here, I can get me out of this. And I'm getting out. I'm not going to be a volunteer victim.
My biggest advice to get everybody in the world is, like I say, we live in an external world. If you can, for the rest of your life, live inside of yourself. All these insecure people putting their insecurities on you, you gotta flush it out. You gotta just be whoever the hell God or whoever the hell you believe in. If you believe in nothing but yourself, I don't care what it is. You gotta take everything and throw it away. You have to believe in one thing, and that is yourself.
Imagine that you were taking care of yourself like you were someone you actually cared for. And then you thought, okay, I'm caring for this person. I would like things to go as well for them as possible. What would their life have to be like in order for that to be the case? 3 years from now, you can have what you need. You got to be careful about it. You can't have everything. You can have what would be good for you, but you have to figure out what it is, and then you have to aim at it.
Right now, for you to find greatness in yourself, you're not gonna find it by looking in a book or by even hearing me. I may give you the spark, but you've got to go inside yourself to find it.
We're all walking around managing perfect dysfunction. Like, let's just say that. Like, there is no perfect. Pursuing perfect is a false pursuit that will always leave you disappointed, right? And so our job is to perfectly dance with our imperfection.
One of the things that's really, really important to make familiar is praise. And one of the things to make unfamiliar is criticism.
But if you can get through to doing things that you hate to do, on the other side is greatness.
Your life belongs to those people who are going to cross your path. And because they cross your path, not anybody else's, but because they cross your path, you inspired them to want to be a better person. You inspired them to want to express love in the way that they hadn't thought before. You inspired them to listen with open ears and an open heart because they crossed your path.
Dark room, you face yourself, you realize you want to be better, you realize you don't want to be this weak, insecure person in the world who has all these problems that we all have. We all have. So that's where that dark room is.
The major cause of depression are harsh, hurtful, critical words that you say to yourself over and over again.
First one is clarity. Clarity, meaning solitude is a wonderful time for self-reflection. To self-reflect, to go inside when you're going very fast and you're driving your life very fast, you don't often have time to just say, am I going in the right direction? And so clarity can come from the power of questions. Questions give you answers. And you ask the right questions, you'll get the right answers.
But a huge part of the reason that people fail is because they don't ever set up the criteria for success. And so since success is a very narrow line and very unlikely, the probability that you're going to stumble on it randomly is zero. And so there's a proposition here, and the proposition is, if you actually want something, you can have it. Now the question then would be, well, what do you mean by actually want? And the answer is that you reorient your life in every possible way to make the probability that that will occur as certain as possible.
You don't get to come in and leave without being responsible for those that you impact. And when you understand that, you're like, hold on, my life literally sends waves out into the universe. It sends waves to the people around me, and it impacts the way they choose to show up in the world. When you recognize that, then the question becomes, so what are you sending me out?
It's so easy to be great nowadays. Most people are weak. This is a softened generation. So if you have any mental toughness, any ability, if you have any fraction of self-discipline, the ability to not want to do it but still do it. It wasn't until I changed that mentality that I became somebody.
Your mind doesn't care if what you tell it is right or wrong, good or bad, healthy or unhealthy. It lets it all in. Your mind will do what you tell it. Now that you know that, tell it great things.
What's most important to me in life? And then you make a list of those things. And then ask yourself second question. And the second question is, are the actions I'm taking each day fulfilling those values, my answers? Are your actions giving you those values, fulfilling those values? So get clarity and journal, write them down, check in with yourself.
If you could leave me with one piece of advice, what would it be?
Make mistakes, but don't regret them. Learn from them. Because regrets are the hardest things to carry when you get older.
I don't think you understand the power that you truly possess. Even in the darkest times, which you may even be experiencing right now, you still remain. You cannot be destroyed. Your soul, the life force behind those eyes, is the most powerful force that exists. Evil could open up Earth's core and hurl you down. It could cast you into an endless void. But again, you still remain. Why is that? What does that mean? It means that you are the decider. You decide your fate. You decide who wins, as you bear the gift of choice.
Everybody wants to be a star, but they don't understand that stars shine brightest at night. When you're going through the darkness, when you're going through the hard times, that's when the champions shine the brightest. That's when it's go time. That's when it's really time to put in the work.
Listen, you're here because you know if you want your life to be different, you have to change, right? If you want your life to change, you have to change. The key to achieving success in any area of your life comes from your ability to change yourself. And a lot of times changing yourself comes from changing your mind first, reprogramming your mind to change your old patterns, to change your old beliefs, your old programs, and your thoughts, your habits, and your beliefs are your driving forces behind your actions. So if you can understand the psychology and the science that's behind mental reprogramming, then you can start to take charge of your life and create the future that doesn't look like your past.
Remind yourself that it's not about being perfect. It is about constantly putting one foot in front of the other, taking it moment by moment, step by step, not getting too ahead of yourself, right? Still keeping the vision and the goal and the dream at the forefront of your mind, knowing where you're trying to go, but understanding that it's a journey. And in this journey, you're gonna make mistakes. In this journey, you're gonna fall down. But every time you fall down, every time you make a mistake, every time you mess up, there's a lesson in it for you. There's an opportunity for growth. There's an opportunity to get back up and take the next right step, right? And that's why this journey is so beautiful, because you learn so much about yourself. It's about being open and constantly trying to progress each and every day.
What happens when I decide for myself that I'm gonna do something different? I'm gonna have setbacks, I know. But if I'm feeling bad, that doesn't mean I'm doing bad. That doesn't mean I am bad. That doesn't mean that I can't still take some action. Because yeah, nothing changes if nothing changes, man.
You know, it's always a little bit frustrating to me when people have a negative relationship with failure. Failure is a massive part of being able to be successful. You have to get comfortable with failure. You have to actually seek failure. Failure is where all of the lessons are. Successful people fail a lot. They fail a whole lot more than they succeed, but they extract the lessons from the failure and they use that the energy and they use the wisdom to come around to the next phase of success.
Truly understand that these are your greatest years. The years that will either make you successful or entrap you into mediocrity for the rest of your life. So please, make sure you make the most out of them because your time is limited.
You have to be okay with being misunderstood. You have to be okay with being rejected. You have to be okay with not thinking like the 99%. If you want to lead, you have to lead from a place of confidence. And the worst thing you want to be is be a follower that follows followers.
Problem is, right now, there's a lot of softness in the generation of entitlement of what I think I should be able to do. I should be able to enjoy my college years. I should be able to have a social life. I should be able to insert whatever you want, and that's fine. It'll just come at the cost of something else. And I'm not the one who says like, this is right or wrong. I just say it is that way. There's only so many minutes, and there's a trade that you're going to be willing to make. And the people who will win are the ones who are willing to trade the most for the thing they want. And that oftentimes means you won't be able to go out as much. You won't be able to attend the birthday parties. You won't be able to, that stuff will suffer.
Can't believe in yourself without believing in possibility. You can't believe in possibility without believing in yourself. The belief that they could heal has to be installed. I just started disbelieving again. I started doubting, and I had to get back and change my state and start believing again. And I think if you keep doing that, you believe, you behave, you become.
What if I fail? Oh, but my darling, what if you fly? I love that because it's true. Why not entertain the best case scenario? Why not flip your mindset into believing in yourself? What if it all works out? What if this is the best decision I've ever made? What if this is beyond my wildest dreams? What if I try and I not only fly, but I soar? And the fact is, if you try, you will fly in a new direction. It is true.
Feels like I get sucked into this negative state of mind so fast. It doesn't even feel like I have a choice. It feels like life is throwing me around and I have no say in where it goes. I understand. This is for no other reason than that evil fears you. It sees your power. It sees what will happen if you realize your full potential. And therefore, it will do anything and everything to make you blind to it. It will find your weak points, and it will attack them relentlessly until you give in.
You know, people get up every day, they do the same thing. They tell themselves they're going to change their life one day, and they never do. I'm going to change mine.
Hey bro, you can hit the reset button today. If you don't like whoever you've been up to this point, you can just stop being that person. Like today, you can decide to change the way you act, the way you behave. Every single day, including today, is an opportunity for you to hit the reset button on your entire personality, your work ethic, your discipline, your values. You can transform your entire being starting right now.
The way that you get better at making decisions is making decisions. See, it's not that you have a hard time making a decision. It's that you're unwilling to make the wrong decision. Almost every single decision that you make in life, you can change or reverse. If you drop out of school, you can go back. If you break up with someone and realize, oh my God, that was wrong, you can tell them. And being able to make the wrong decision is how you make progress. There are no right or wrong decisions, ironically. There's just decisions. And the second that you make a decision, you now learn something. It's not about being right. It's about being willing to move forward and learn something from it.
That what you are after is not a career or a profession. It is not a yearly income goal. It is not a car or a lifestyle. What you are after is a feeling. You want to feel free. You want to feel a sense of control. You want to feel capable and accomplished. You want to feel like you have a clear purpose, and you want to feel like you are fulfilling that purpose. It is much deeper than a dream job or a lifestyle. Your soul is craving to feel, and you do not have enough of these feelings to satisfy that craving. This is what we are here to fix. This discomfort stems from a poor mental framework. It has nothing to do with anything in the physical realm. You've adopted habits, behaviors, and thought patterns from your surroundings your entire life. Many of these behaviors and thought patterns are faulty and limiting. This is what I call a poor foundation. In order to fix this problem, we need to recreate the foundation our mental framework is built upon, so that we can, with time, go on to build a strong and optimized mental framework, which will allow us to properly pursue these feelings that we are after and succeed in doing so.
Find the others. Admit it, you aren't like them. You're not even close. You may occasionally dress yourself up as one of them, watch the same mindless television shows as they do, maybe even eat the same fast food sometimes. But it seems that the more you try to fit in, the more you feel like an outsider. Watching normal people as they go about their automatic existences. For every time you say club passwords like, have a nice day and weather's awful today, eh? You yearn inside to say forbidden things like, tell me something that makes you cry, or what do you think deja vu is for? Face it, you even want to talk to that girl in the elevator. But what if that girl in the elevator and the balding man who walks past your cubicle at work are thinking the same thing? Who knows what you might learn from taking a chance on a conversation with a stranger? Everybody carries a piece of the puzzle. Nobody comes into your life by mere coincidence. Trust your instincts, do the unexpected, find the others.
It's the human condition to be average. It's not to be as good as you can be. You know, it's the human condition to survive. Just get along, be average. It's special to get somebody to be the best that they can be, to understand the work ethic and how important it is to earn it, and you reap what you sow.
If the person you are competing against loves the process, you are never going to beat them in the long run. I mean, there's no chance. You might beat them in the short run. It's like the person who loves climbing is going to climb much higher than the person who just wants to get the view from the summit. Point blank, because they love it. They're going to do everything. They're going to get better at it. They're going to research. They're going to like everything about it. They are going to get better while this person's just focused on whatever the goal is.
There's a saying that if you do what you love, you will never work a day in your life. I learned that is a total crock. You will work harder than you ever thought possible, but the tools will feel light in your hands.
Sometimes life's going to hit you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. I'm convinced that the only thing that kept me going was that I loved what I did. You've got to find what you love, and that is as true for work as it is for your lovers. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking, and don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it. And like any great relationship, it just gets better and better as the years roll on. So keep looking, don't settle.
It's just a simple story. There were two nice people. One person built his house on the rock, and the other person built his house on the sand. And the storms came, as they always do, and the one that built his house on the rock was saved. And the one that built his house on the sand was lost. Not because he was evil, not because he was bad. Here's what it means. Nice people can make foolish decisions. Let's make sure we build on the rock so that we last forever, not on the sand and be gone when the storm comes.
Please understand that nothing works the first time. What is the average number of times that a person tries with a new goal before they give up? Can you guess? Well, the average is less than one, because most people give up before they try even once, and they move away to a wonderful place called Someday Isle. Someday, and most people live on Someday Isle. Your job and my job is to vote yourself off the island.
The function of man is to live, not to exist. I shall not waste my days trying to prolong them. I shall use my time.
Says that death is not waiting behind that door right now. Every second, you are between life and death. One day, it just stays with this, then this is going to happen. So in the moment where you realize it could be my last action right now that I do, having this type of thought on the mind, it could be your last, hopefully, makes you wake up to really focus on the things that are important for you. Because many things are starting to fall away when somebody tells you, look, you only have 1 more week to live. Many problems that at the moment people are caring about, they would just disappear. Then they wake up and realize this shortness of life, how precious it actually is that we are able to be here.
One thing I've noticed about you is you are in a constant state of fear, worry, and doubt. And I need you to remember that where gratitude exists, fear cannot. You need to wake up every single morning and reroute yourself on what you're grateful for, the trials that you've had to overcome. You can be grateful for the goals that have yet to be achieved. See them in your mind, give gratitude as if they've already happened, then watch how your life changes.
Genius adores isolation. You want to get in the flow state and do beautiful work. Vincent van Gogh. He only sold 2 paintings, but he's Vincent van Gogh. I would say it's absolutely essential to leave the world regularly, to do your best work, to get into flow state. You can be in the world or you can do your finest work. You can't do both.
Master imagination. Be capable of closing your eyes and transporting yourself to an alternate reality in which you can immerse yourself at any given moment. Explore this alternate reality. Identify every detail of every aspect within the environment. Make it so vivid, so real that you can smell the misty air, feel the chill breeze, and see each blade of grass that blows with the wind atop the rolling hills. Bring this vision back and write it down, every last detail, and bring it to life. Create a mood board. Listen to music that matches the environment. Light a candle that matches the scent of the environment. Wear clothes that you could see yourself wearing in that environment. Do everything in your power to bring yourself closer to that vision. And sooner than you believe, your vision will be your reality, I promise.
Everything that you want but you don't have is outside of your comfort zone. And what I have learned in my potential path journey is that there are trade-offs all along the way. At every critical juncture in a person's life, if they want to go to the next level, they don't go to the next level by just stepping up. They go to the next level by realizing they've got to give something up to go there. And the way this works is, the higher you go, the higher the price.
Afraid of what other people think. In Meditations, Mark Aurelius says, we all love ourselves more than other people, but for some reason we care about their opinions more than our own. The great British writer Cyril Connolly said, some people are afraid even to kill themselves for fear of what the neighbors might think. And the idea is we're held back by the opinions of people we've never met, the opinions of people we don't care about, the opinions of people we don't agree with on anything else, right? We are held back on what they might think of what we might think or say or do. And this holds us back from the things that we're capable of doing.
We are way too obsessed, and chances are you're way too obsessed with fixing things. You want your life to be different, right? You're saying, this needs to change, this needs to change, this needs to change. But that's only one part of you. There's another part of you that doesn't want things to be different, right? That wants to stay at home, that wants to hit the snooze button. And if you want to master your life, you need to take control of all parts of you. You need to understand all parts of you. And we spend way too much time trying to fix our problems without even understanding, where did this come from? How does this manifest? How does it affect me? So spend a little bit more time or a lot more time with yourself understanding your conflict. Don't even try to fix your problems, just understand them. That's the one thing that needs to change. And if that changes, then you will be amazed at how easy everything else it'll be like dominoes, where once you understand yourself, then a lot of things will start going positive in your life.
You've spent so much time trying to meet everyone else's expectations, trying to fit into their idea of who you should be. But what would your life look like if you lived it for you? Not for their approvals, not for their applause, but for the quiet moments when you can say, this feels right. Because when it's all said and done, you're the one who has to live with your choices. So make them count.
for you. When things come to an end, we often feel it's final, but it's actually the chance for transformation. I was reminded of this the other day when I was going for a run through the woods, admiring the fallen leaves on the ground. Those leaves were not at end of life. They were going back into the earth. They were nourishing the soil. They were giving the chance for new life, for new growth. And like the leaves, we have to be able to embrace change. We have to let go of what no longer serves us. Give yourself the chance for renewal. So when life gets hard, when you start to feel weighed down, remember the beauty of fallen leaves. And when you feel like you're falling, remember it's your chance for transformation. It's your chance to create space and vibrancy in your life.
Do you feel like you're constantly running, chasing something better, something bigger, yet never truly arriving? Like no matter how far or how fast you go, something's still chasing you? The truth is, you're not running toward anything. You're running away. Away from the fears that haunt you, the regrets that eat away at you, the pain you've tried to bury deep down. And I'm here to tell you something you might not want to hear. There's only one way to truly escape. You can't outrun the darkness. You can't drown it out with noise. You have to turn around, face it, embrace it. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to feel good. But the person you become on the other side will thank you. The strength, the clarity, and the purpose you're searching for. It's all waiting for you in the very place you've been avoiding. When was the last time you sat in complete silence? No phone, no music, no friends to distract you. Just you and your thoughts. For most people, the idea is terrifying. Why? Because in the silence, the truth comes out. The things you've been avoiding, the doubts, the failures, the mistakes, they all rise to the surface. And we've been conditioned to think that facing those things is weakness. Let me tell you something. The true weakness is avoiding them. Running from your demons doesn't make them disappear. It only gives them more power. They follow you everywhere, lurking in the shadows, growing stronger every time you try to bury them. And the more you run, the more control they have over your life. But here's the thing. Those demons, that darkness, it's not your enemy. It's a part of you. A part of you that's crying out to be understood, to be acknowledged. And the moment you stop running, the moment you turn around and say, I'm ready to face this, that's the moment you take back your power. Solitude isn't loneliness, it's freedom. Freedom from the expectations of others. Freedom from the noise of the world. It's a chance to connect with yourself, to understand who you really are and what you really want. And here's the best part. When you embrace solitude, when you embrace the silence, you stop seeking validation from the outside world. You stop comparing yourself to others. You stop living for everyone else and start living for yourself. The darkness isn't just a place of pain, it's a place of transformation. When you go into the darkness, you're forced to confront everything you've been running from. Your mistakes, your regrets, your fears. And at first, it's going to hurt. It's going to feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. But that's where the magic happens. Because in the darkness, you learn what you're really made of. You learn that you're stronger than your fears, braver than your doubts, and more capable than you ever thought possible. The darkness strips away everything you thought you were and forces you to rebuild yourself from the ground up. And when you come out the other side, you're not just a better version of yourself. you're unstoppable. So how do you do it? How do you stop running and start facing the things you've been avoiding? 1. Start with silence. Turn off your phone. Step away from the noise. Find a quiet place where you can just be. At first, it's going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to want to distract yourself. But don't. Sit with it. Let the discomfort come. 2. Acknowledge your fears. Write them down, speak them out loud. Whatever it takes to bring them into the light. Because the more you try to suppress them, the more power they have. But when you name them, when you face them, they lose their grip on you. 3. Ask the hard questions. What am I afraid of? What am I running from? What do I need to change? These aren't any questions, but they're necessary. 4. Take small steps. Facing your demons doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. Start small. Spend a few minutes each day in silence. Reflect on one fear at a time. And as you get stronger, take on bigger challenges. 5. Be patient with yourself. Growth isn't linear. There will be setbacks. There will be moments when you feel like giving up. But don't. Remember, every step you take toward the darkness is a step closer to your true self. When you turn around and face your demons, you don't just conquer them, you transform them. You take the pain that once held you back and turn it into fuel for growth. You take the fears that once controlled you and use them to push yourself forward. You take the darkness that once consumed you and turn it into your greatest strength. And here's the thing. Once you've faced your demons, once you've embraced the darkness, you're no longer afraid of it. You carry that strength with you wherever you go. This isn't just about motivation. It's about transformation. It's about stepping into the person you were always meant to be. So stop running, stop hiding, turn around, face the darkness. Because everything you're searching for, your strength, your purpose, your peace, is waiting for you on the other side.
There is a version of you right now that exists that has it all. Everything you could possibly think of, the version of just living it right now. And the fastest way to experience that is to connect to that highest version of you. So here's how you do it. Yes, before going to bed, imagine this white light coming down from the sky, filling your entire body up with this white light. And when you're ready, I want you to follow this light up as far as you can go. And your intention is, I want to connect to the version of myself that has the life that I want. So follow this light up as far as you can go, beyond the country, beyond the earth, until you're there. And when you're there, just bask in everything that you experience. You might even say to yourself, I fully receive all the lessons, all the guidance in this space. I am ready to be one with the version of me that has it all. I am ready, I am ready, I am ready. And then fall asleep to this energy. Do that, and you'll be shocked at the things that you're gonna attract and experience when you wake up in the morning.
It's the lonely moments that expose how you treat yourself, because if you find that nobody's around and the fear of being with your own mind starts to creep in, you haven't built enough evidence that you can trust yourself. You shouldn't be afraid of you. You are the only thing in this world you actually control. And I promise to be in good company with yourself is very possible even in the painful moments. You know, your heroes are heroic because they never default on who you'd expect them to be. So keep all of your promises to yourself and watch you become your biggest hero.
Nothing happens till you take action. Nobody ever thought their way to success. Nobody ever hoped their way to success. Nobody ever wrote goals on a planner to success. They acted. The moment that you and I act, the moment that you and I move, the moment that you and I take action, action is what attracts. It's the action, it's the movement that people say, oh my, Look at them. Look what they're doing. Look where they're going. And the moment that I began to take action, I began to attract people. I began to attract resources. I began to attract opportunities. All this stuff, it doesn't come to you. Quit waiting for it. It isn't coming. You go to it and you make it happen.
Nothing more motivating than the knowledge I'm going to die. Think of the prisoner in the cell and they're putting an X through every one because every X is one day closer to getting out. Well, let's do that for your life. Every X you spend doing nothing, that's a day you could have done something and you're going to die one day. It's there on the calendar, okay? This would so motivate me, as it does, to be as productive as I can, as helpful as I can. Try to make a better world for your privilege of having lived in it. So if knowing you're gonna die brings meaning to your life, then living forever is a life of no meaning at all.
If you decide that you want to achieve a goal, you start moving toward it, and what is the first thing you're going to experience? Obstacles, difficulties, failure, setbacks, disappointments. They come over and over again. You may fail 9 times for every 10th time that you make a step forward. Well, if you have high levels of ambition, like an engine, a car with a powerful engine, you'll go over the bumps. You'll keep driving forward. If you have low levels of ambition, what will you do? You'll quit at the first failure or disappointment.
We spend a lot of time in our life chasing success. Well, what really is success? What does it mean? What does it mean to be successful? Have you ever sat down and figured out, if I accomplish what I'm going after, that goal or that dream or whatever that is, does getting that make me successful? What about the people that I have with me along the way, or the people I need to help me along the way, or the people I help along the way? What about that? Does that play into my success? Do you think about the people that surround you and that you surround, and the difference that it makes in your life and theirs as you go on this chase of achievement? Success is cool. Success is something we should go after. But significance is better. I want you to be successful, but I want you to understand that if that success has no significance to anyone but you, then it's not going to have that kind of feeling that you think you're going to get from that success.
There's no secure path forward. Give it up. It's risk everywhere. Oh my God, that's terrible. It's like, yes, except for 2 things. You can pick your risk. That's the first thing. So you get to pick your poison. That's something. And second, you're a lot tougher than you think. So even though there's risk everywhere, if you confront it forthrightly, what you'll find is that you can actually handle the risk. And that's the security.
You've heard that the eyes are the window to the soul, but you haven't heard that they're also the bridge to your goals, and that the reason you aren't able to achieve them is that you're looking at the wrong things, constantly scrolling. To guard your eyes, the way to do so is very simple. Stop looking for pleasure and start looking for growth. Realize that the second you start protecting your eyesight is the second you start making significant progress towards your goals.
Treat yourself with utmost respect, or what? Settle for nothing but the best life you could possibly imagine, or what? I mean, is there seriously another option in your mind? Would you actually be willing to give up the potential of your life to an uncertainty of your ability to get it? I'll be honest, you're not better than anybody. But guess what? Nobody is better than you. The people with your dream life are not better than you. Your family is not better than you. I am not better than you. So if anybody can have what you are looking for, it's you.
Time doesn't lie. It reveals the truth about how much you've given, how much you've endured, and how much you're willing to fight for what you say you want. Time isn't your enemy. It's your greatest ally, but it only works for you if you show up.
How often have you felt stuck in the routines of life?
The same mornings, the same faces, the same paths you walk day after day. There's comfort in knowing exactly where you are and where you're going. But let me ask you this. Is comfort all there is to life? The truth is, comfort zones are illusions. They make us feel safe, but they also trap us. You see, the magic of life doesn't happen in the places you already know. It happens in the unknown, the messy, the unpredictable. There's a quote that goes, if you never get lost, how will you ever expect to find yourself? Think about that for a second. If you always know what's next, if every step is planned and calculated, where's the room for discovery? Where's the room for growth? Let me tell you something about being lost. Those moments when you don't know what's next, when the map you followed all your life suddenly tears apart, those are the moments when life truly begins. Those are the moments when you stop walking a straight line and start exploring. This isn't about staying safe, avoiding risks, or sticking to what you know. No, this is about embracing the chaos. The kind of chaos that makes you question everything you thought you knew. The kind of chaos that scares you, but also sets you free. Because here's the truth, you'll never discover the life you were meant to live if you're too afraid to leave the life you already know. So, let go. Let go of the isolation, the hesitation, and the fear. It's time to break free, to try, to fail, and to get lost. And in doing so, find a version of yourself that's braver, brighter, and more alive than you ever imagined. Let's start with why we're so terrified of getting lost. Somewhere along the way, society taught us that uncertainty is a bad thing. From childhood, we're handed a map. Go to school, get good grades, get a stable job, save for retirement, stay in your lane, play it safe. But let me ask you, who wrote that map? Did you? Or was it written by someone else? Society, your parents, or your fears? Think about the life you're living right now. Are you walking your own path? Or are you following someone else's? Are you chasing dreams that are truly yours? Or are you stuck living out expectations that were placed on you? Now imagine throwing that map away. Scary, right? But here's the thing. When you get lost, you don't just lose your way. You lose the limits you placed on yourself. You lose the narrow perspective that's been holding you back. When you get lost, you stop living on autopilot. You begin to notice the opportunities around you, the ones you've been too afraid to see. That's why getting lost matters. It's not a failure. It's not a setback. It's an awakening. It's the universe telling you there's more out there for you if you're brave enough to explore it. Fear, it's the number one thing holding us back. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of looking foolish. But let me ask you this. What's scarier? Trying and failing, or never trying at all? Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of the process. Every step forward begins with a stumble. Every masterpiece starts as a rough draft. Every strong person was once terrified. But here's the secret. Fear isn't your enemy. It's your guide. Fear is like a compass. It points you to the places where you need to grow. Think about the things you're afraid of. Are you afraid to speak your mind? To step into the spotlight? To pursue your passion? That fear isn't telling you to stop. It's showing you what matters most to you. So what if you fail? What if you look foolish? So what? You'll survive. In fact, you'll do more than survive. You'll learn. You'll grow. You'll become stronger. Picture this. Years from now, when you look back on your life, will you be proud of how you lived? Or will you be haunted by the chances you didn't take? The life you want is waiting for you, but you'll never find it if you let fear keep you in place. There's another reason we stay stuck: isolation. We convince ourselves we don't need anyone else, that we're better off alone. But let me tell you something. Independence isn't the same as isolation. We were built for connection, but here's the thing. True connection requires vulnerability. It requires stepping out of your shell and saying, "This is me. Will you meet me here?" So reach out, join that class, go to that event, say yes to the invitation you've been avoiding. Life isn't meant to be lived alone. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Getting lost isn't just necessary, it's fun. Think about the last time you tried something completely new. Maybe you got lost in a new city, stumbled upon an incredible cafe, or ended up having an unforgettable conversation with a stranger. Life is full of surprises, but only if you're open to them. When you let go of control and embrace the unknown, you invite magic into your life. Do you want to know the secret to happiness? It's not about having everything figured out. It's about living with curiosity and wonder. It's about waking up every day and asking, what amazing thing might happen today? So start saying yes. Yes to adventures. Yes to risks. Yes to the things that make your heart race. The more you let go, the more you find yourself. When you step into the unknown, you discover strengths you never knew you had. You realize you're braver, smarter, and more resourceful than you thought. Getting lost strips away the labels and expectations that have been placed on you, and it forces you to ask, who am I, really? And in the process, you find the truest, most authentic version of yourself. So, where do we go from here? That's up to you. The life you want is waiting for you, but you'll never find it if you're too afraid to get lost, so go. Try, fail, explore. And remember, getting lost isn't the end, it's the beginning.
Learn the Handel's Messiah. I challenge you, to pick up a piano, to pick up a violin. I challenge you to not accept the life that's been given to you. Just because somebody gave that life, that does not have to become your reality. I challenge you to go outside of your immediate environment, and I challenge you to explore. I challenge you to discover. I challenge you to learn a second language. I challenge you to watch PBS, NPR radio. I challenge you to get out of just that world that you've been given. I challenge you to read books, to learn the history of this company. I challenge you to be bigger, bolder, and better 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Well, some of the people that we admire are people who have been exposed to things that other people haven't been exposed to. I think what people get confused is, they're grinding with a goal. And I'm not saying you should have goals, but you should be grinding for grinding's sake. You should grind because that's what you do. You're passionate about what you do, and so you're waking up every day with this concept of, I have 24 hours and they're mine. This 24 hours belongs to me. And whatever I do in this 24 hours will determine where I'll be tomorrow and the next day. And I think that's what people need to focus on. Like, get off of this, I want to make 6 figures. I want to drive this car. I want to live in this house. I think what people should be focusing on is, I have 24 hours. Like, Oprah only has 24. Bill Gates only has 24. Like, Warren Buffett only has 24 hours. And in that 24-hour period, I can either break my life or make my life. I just think that goals for people is too high on the priority list. And I think what should be on the priority list is going to bed so you can wake up the next day and you can grind it out. And I'm just a dude that believes you reap what you sow. So if you're grinding on Monday, grinding on Tuesday, grinding on Wednesday, if you're grinding 6-7 days a week for a span of 5 or 6 years, something's gotta come out of that.
And what I found is that instead of trying to live a successful life, if you aim to have a successful day, 12, if you have 13 out of the 24 hours of your day, if you won those hours, you won the day. And if you win most of the days in a week, you won the week. We just need a simple majority here, right? If you win, most of the weeks in a month, there you go. Most of the months in a year, most of the years in a life. And all of a sudden, look at that. Without even trying, you've been able to kind of get somewhere.
People misunderstand money. Okay, just like fundamentally. And it's actually not money, they misunderstand themselves. They misunderstand what they actually want. What people want is fulfillment. What people want is to feel good. And they think that, wow, if I had, and here's the truth. What they know is when they buy something, it does feel good. And they know, if I could buy my mom a house, like that would feel good. If I could buy her a big house, a fancy car, make me feel good. And it is all 100% true. Buying a fancy car will make you feel good. Buying a big house will make you feel good. But it makes you feel good the way a bowl of ice cream makes you feel good. It's momentary happiness. It's transient, it will go away, the hedonic reset point. So you buy the big house and all of a sudden that's normal, baby. And so you really have to stop and A, remind yourself to be grateful for that, but B, recognize that all the things you thought money was gonna bring you, it brings you something completely different. And if you want fulfillment, Fulfillment is about being something, becoming something. It's born of suffering. It is not born of having a cool car because you want a cool car because of the way you want other people to look at you.
Right, and the way that will make you feel when you think that they look at you like that.
Exactly. So it's tenuous at best. And it hinges entirely on them actually looking at you that way. So now you're somebody else's pawn because they can turn on you at any minute. So that's never going to bring you lasting fulfillment. It's not stable, doesn't make you feel strong and rooted. But becoming somebody, setting your sights on gaining certain skill sets, of feeling a certain way, of being calm, being, full of gratitude, like all the things from a neurochemical standpoint that we read as good, like though none of money can't touch those things. So working on what I call framework happiness is the key to all that stuff, and money can't give you framework happiness.
I made the decision, it's the most important decision I believe of your life, that I'm not going to suffer anymore. Life's too short to suffer, and I'm going to live in a beautiful state every day. And the way I do it is, I catch myself when I start to get that sense of stress, I let it go, and I see the idea go by. So your thoughts about this person messing up your business or not following through. If I was in a room with 10,000 people, I guarantee you 60, 70% of the business owners have the same thoughts about it, right? I ask people all the time, tell me your most stressful thought. Oh, I'm worried about my children, this and they have it. How many people have had that thought? Everybody. I might not make it financial, blah, blah, blah. How many have had that? Everybody. My point is, it's not your thought. It's the mind, not your mind. When you think it's your mind, you identify with it, and you can't separate it from yourself. Right. But when you realize, these thoughts have been around for millions of years. And I'm just thinking the same thought that so many people have thought before. Like, how many people have ever thought, I'm gonna kill this son of a bitch? Now, you didn't do it. You didn't believe you're really gonna kill him. But you felt it, you said it, you were there, right? So we all have thoughts. It's only the stressful thoughts we believe that mess us up. So what I try to show people is, if you can start to realize these thoughts have been around for millions of years. So what I want you to realize is thoughts are invisible waves. When you turn on TV, it takes invisible waves, and depending on the channel, you're gonna see a love story, or an adventure, or a drama, or a comedy, or a horror. The way you use your body determines which of those thought waves come through you. One moment you're off, the next moment somebody makes you laugh, you change your body, you change the channel, you change what comes through you. So what I've tried to do in this Every Beautiful State is simple. First, identify where you're suffering. What's your favorite flavor? Are you a worrier? Are you a off person? Angry? What is it you do? Second of all, decide you're gonna kill that monster while it's little. You're not gonna wait till it's Godzilla taking the city. You're gonna break the pattern. You start to feel the stress. You see it as thoughts going by, and then you focus on something to appreciate, enjoy, or love. Appreciation, love, and joy destroy suffering. You can't be grateful and angry simultaneously. It's possible. You can't be worried, fearful, and grateful simultaneously. So I tell people gratitude is one of the emotions to cultivate that will destroy the suffering. And that's what we teach people to do.
If you're not trying to get out of your situation, and every day you're choosing to stay in it, and you can't complain about being given the choice you keep making. One of my favorite quotes is, change happens when the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the pain of making a change. And I really do believe that. So when I hear people complain, I'm knowing they're not changing it, I think maybe it's not hurting them enough for them to fight to get out. Complaining causes negativity, which causes you to complain, which causes negativity. And there are a few actionable things you can do to immediately stop this negative cycle and to break out of it. And the first one is actually just changing your perception. If you can't change it, then at least change the way you think about it. Someone said the brain doesn't just observe the world, it projects a second story of everything we see. That story is our perception. We can complain rose bushes have thorns, or we can rejoice that thorn bushes have roses. Perception defines everyone's reality. The second thing is about your internal locus of control. Take responsibility. If you don't take responsibility, then you're choosing to be a victim of circumstance. And this victim mindset dilutes human potential, it kills action, and by not accepting personal responsibility for your own circumstances, you're greatly reducing the power you have to change it. And there are two primary choices we all make in life. It is to accept conditions as they are
or to accept the responsibility for changing them. Please choose the latter. And the last one, which is the most important of all, is making a change. Einstein said, as we all know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. And for every action, we have a reaction. If you want a new reaction, you must perform a new action. I found in my life that change starts with a big decision and a tiny step. Today, right now, yesterday was the time to make that decision. It's time to take that step.
Henry Ford said it best in the book, Think and Grow Rich. You probably read it. He said, successful people make decisions quickly and that are slow to change their mind. Unsuccessful people hardly ever make up their mind, and when they do, they're constantly changing it back and forth, wishy-washy, like, do I want this, do I want that? They have so much indecision. Indecision is what kills confidence. And here's the thing, success, the ability to make great decisions in your life, comes from experience. And your experience usually comes from bad judgment. So it's not about making the right decision. The leaders, successful people don't always make the right decision, but they always make the decision right. That is, no matter what happens, they go for it, and then they know they're gonna figure it out in the end because they're about their outcome. But you gotta take decisions. You can't be paralyzed by fear and say, oh, what I'm gonna do. So the first decision is what to focus on. Right now, as you're sitting there, you're probably on Facebook, on YouTube, something like that. You could be focused on this video. You could be focused on your iPhone. You could be focused on something that happened a year ago. You could be something that's gonna happen in the future. But like they say in that book, Eckhart Tolle says in The Power of Now, that your life is happening now. You're most powerful when you are operating in the now. Some people are trying to change things that happened in the past. They feel like that hadn't happened, or she hadn't said that, or if I had done that before, I didn't mess up before. And their energy, their focus, even though they're talking to you, they're locked in your eyes right there, there's a part of them energetically that is focused on something in the past. Does that make sense? Their energy, their focus, every time anything bad happens, they're like, well, if this hadn't happened before, their mind always goes there, is that they have a pattern, a habit of focus. And so the most powerful thing you can do is be focused in the moment, because this is where your life happens. And if you're trying to control things that are in the future or even in the past, you set yourself up for disappointment, because you can't change the past. And you can influence the future, but you can't change the future. You know, there's a lot of people out there doing a lot of things. Some people have a big impact on the world, but hey, there's times things are gonna happen. So you don't really know, but you still have to make decisions with absolute certainty. You have to have the vision within yourself. So the first decision you need to make every single day is, what are you gonna focus on? What are you gonna give your time and your attention to? That's decision number one.
Every second you spend thinking about what somebody else has is taking away from time that you could create something for yourself. Yeah. You're losing. You're losing because you're laying in your bed looking at somebody's glamorous photoshopped picture of them doing something cool, and you're envious and you're jealous and you're impatient, and it's crippling your upside. You've got to deploy patience, and you've got to love the process. I'm addicted to the process of the battle scars, the setbacks. Macro patience, micro speed.
Life breaks everyone, and some are stronger in the places that broke.
We are going to go through trauma, but trauma is an opportunity to change and to reorganize the elements that made up your life. When a person's mind is traumatized, it's like the story that they were telling themselves has ceased to be persuasive, right? And when a story stops being persuasive, it is disorienting, and that, I think, is what trauma is. The period between when your old story breaks apart because of this last straw on the camel's back thing. I mean, we're gonna continue to tell ourselves the old stories until it's so glaringly contradictory that it doesn't hold up. So trauma is the period between when that breaks down and when you, from the pieces of the old, build something new. And we'll never glorify the trauma itself, but recognize that in that period, you have a very unique opportunity that will only come along a handful of times in your life to reorganize the story that you tell about yourself to yourself.
Reticular activation system and our ability to rationalize our behavior is so pervasive and so powerful that our brains will rationalize almost anything that it thinks is in its best interest. So if a person gets to a point where they have become addicted to the laziness,
what typically is going to happen is their reticular activation system is going to activate in such a way where they're going to justify the laziness. And what's really psycho about this, and super scary, this is scary to me, because I've seen this happen to friends of mine, is that they rationalize the laziness with a set of lies to themselves, or like half-truths. But then remember that any time that you lie to yourself, what happens as you build further beliefs on that foundation? More lies, more lies, more lies, more lies, and it becomes a web. Once the person has got addicted to that emotion of laziness, the emotion is entered into their body and it wants to self-perpetuate. So once that person gets in that emotion that they want to sustain it, they desperately want to sustain it, they will typically not come out of it. And actually, they become lost. They're lost now. Because what happens is that they fall too far off the path. And so there's been too much rationalization, too much lying to themselves about why they're doing it, that the only way, oh, and by the way, and this is further sustaining that addiction to the lazy emotions, the only way that they can come back is if they're forced out of it. Something forces them out of it, where it's just too painful to preserve the laziness and to preserve the lies that they would have to come out of it. And so, you know what's cool about hard work? It brings you back to reality again and again and again and again. Because when you take on projects and you have a purpose and you have passion about it, what happens is that you have these little lies about how the world should be that you tell yourself, and then it doesn't work out, and you're confronted with reality. When you're actually trying to do shit, you're continually confronted with reality. You're out of this white ivory tower mind state.
Looking at everything almost like a skill set. Everything is a matter of practice. I mean, of course, are you going to be the next Kobe or the next Michael Jordan or the next Albert Einstein or the next Elon Musk? That there might be, of course, a degree of luck and talent, especially in sports, but still, you can become pretty damn good at a lot of things if you're putting the effort, if you're putting the hours of deliberate practice as...
I mean, if other people are putting in 40-hour work weeks and you're putting in 100-hour work weeks, then even if you're doing the same thing, you know that in 1 year you will achieve what they achieve. You will achieve in 4 months what it takes them a year to achieve.
Going to be different for everyone, but we're all asking the same question. It's how do I live a more meaningful life? And part of that has to do with just changing our focus to figure out what's important.
On the other side of your pain is something good.
Getting comfortable with fear. Understanding that you can overcome fear, you can overcome doubt, those things that hold you back. Courage is the thing that drives through anything that's going to be in your way and try to hold you back. Courage is the thing that should be the driving factor to get you through whatever that is. You know, growing your tolerance for risk and understanding that failure is part of that process. Mistakes are part of that process. If you're not making mistakes, you're not moving forward. So in order for you to have that kind of mindset, to learn, you got to test different things. You got to go, test and pivot, and things are going to happen. Like, you need to have courage to try new things.
Work. That's the answer to all these questions.
Got it.
Learn things, do stuff, try to sell, learn how to make money, work.
All right, I will.
Was this good?
So I have a dream. Okay, fantastic. I have one question. What skills does your dream require you to obtain? I always tell people, stop rehearsing the failure and stop rehearsing it under the guise of I just want to be ready. I want to have a backup plan. Well, the problem is what you're going through over and over and over is how things are going to go wrong. It is far better for you to put your energy into how to make sure that they go right. Then you're rehearsing over and over and over. You don't just think about the 1,000 ways that a building could fall. You think about structural integrity. You think about how do you build that in? Where do the posts have to be? That's the thing you rewire over and over.
So get to the spot where your mind is saying stop. Wherever that is, you gotta get there first. You gotta control yourself in that moment.
This is my dream and not be ashamed by it, because whatever your dream is, like, that's your dream. Don't let somebody else take that away from you.
You tend to think that what you want, you just march right towards it. But if in sports you march right towards the goal, what happens? The defenders come in. And what the defenders are is it's your brain saying, ain't gonna happen. So the second you start moving toward that thing you want, be ready. You're gonna tell yourself you don't feel like it. You're gonna have to force yourself. It's happening. There's no way to get around it. And I wanna remind you about something. Unlike a sports field where there's an in and out of bounds, the great thing about life is there actually aren't any. And it's usually in those moments where you feel like you can't do it, that you're closer than ever to having everything that you wanted. And I wanted to show you this so that you keep it in mind, because I think a lot of times when you look back, it's the darkest moments where you realize, holy cow, that's what projected me forward.
But what makes mastery is execution on the ideas, not the ideas. And so no idea works unless you're willing to roll up your sleeves, do the practice, invest the time, put in the effort, do the work.
Typically on the other side of your greatest fear, of your greatest insecurity, is your greatest blessing. Everyone goes, well, get out of your comfort zone, you'll find it. No, no, no. What you're afraid of and what you're insecure about, on the other side of that is typically one of the great gifts or blessings in your life. You don't even know the magnitude of what it's costing you to give into your fears and insecurities. And by the way, insecurities and fears are different things. They're both really insidious, detrimental things that people struggle with. And so on the other side of your fear, that's one thing, and on the other side of your greatest insecurity are blessing, and you have no idea the immeasurable waves that you're missing in your life because you are giving into them and cowering to them.
There's people around you, whether they're in your life or now social media, you know, people are always going to tell you no, and people are always going to like roll your eyes when you tell them your dream or your goal. And I think that those dreams and those goals are within reach, and they're, you know, just at the tip of our fingertips.
What you're after is the emotion, and so what I want people to get is the emotion they want now, and all it is a new habit. It's learning to discipline this mind, right? By realizing the mind thoughts are out there and letting them float by and constantly coming back to what can I love about this? What can I appreciate? It's like, if you can learn to love or at least appreciate, start to enjoy the things that you used to get upset about, how much freedom would you have?
And there's just a part of you, I think, in anything you're doing when you're struggling, is this really for me? Is this my destiny? Should I be doing this? And we misread failure from some sign, you know, is this a sign I shouldn't be doing it? You know, is this a sign I am, you know, not cut out for this? Instead of looking for signs that you can win.
And make a decision now that says, I'm gonna live in a beautiful state and I'm gonna find beauty in whatever life brings me. Because life is too short not to.
Play the long game. Aim for legendary. Don't just say, I want to be world-class in my dominant pursuit for a little window of time. Say, I want to have the guts and the grit and the acumen and the mindset and the capability and the commitment to create enduring success. And that's why I say nothing fails like success.
And it's that executing against dreams that will change your life. It is not the dream itself. And that is my mission in life, to get people to understand. One, it's not enough to dream. And two, you can learn those skills. And once you have those skills, you can create. Once you can create, you can shape your life. And that's what it's about. People slide into depression because they don't think they can create the life they want. They feel that they're beholden to someone else, that there's some invisible game being played that they don't understand, that they're at the mercy of rules to which they're not privy to.
The world has to hear your voice. That when
is look back on 20 years from now, and you were here. There's an opportunity to say, what did we do? Where did we go? How did I show up? How did I share? How did I show out? How did I do it?
A resilient person is capable of standing up to things in the face of fear and moving forward voluntarily, convinced of their own competence and ability to prevail. We don't even want to be protected from those difficulties, because a major part of life and its meaning is the challenge that comes with confronting difficulties.
We're all going to have these days where it just feels like it's too hard, we don't want to do it anymore, and you want to quit. And that's okay, but you can't quit or give up on those days.
You are where you are because of the choices you've made and the skill set you've built. Period. End of story. Now, why is that the best news ever? Because it means you're in control. You've steered yourself to exactly this point. Now, you may not have been paying attention, you may not have had the clarity that you now know that you need if you want to end up in the exact place that you want to end up. But now that you take that control back and you recognize that you can go anywhere you want, become anyone you want to become, but you're going to have to put in the work, now you can decide whether you want to put in that work or not. And if you don't, that's fair enough. Because the real punchline of all of this, by the way to win this game called life is not money. It is quite simply, what do you think about yourself when you're by yourself?
What if? Body's broken, mind's broken, spirit's broken. I start to say, what if I can pull this off? It's the what if I can pull off a miracle. What if I can become someone that no one thinks I can be?
Everyone knows that you wake up at 3 in the morning when you let your life go off the rails.
The decisions you make right now is up to you. You crying about something that happened to you when you was a kid. You ain't even no kid no more.
The hard thing is taking the first step. Everything else is just persistence.
So what I want you to understand about the breakthrough is that 90% is work. But the last 10%, that's fight.
You commit to do this for the long term. Whether it's hard or easy doesn't matter. You're doing this.
I tell you to set goals beyond your lifetime. I tell you to set goals as soon as humanly possible. You will never exceed your highest expectation. You will never exceed your highest, craziest thought. That's a guarantee. And so then why to set low goals?
Every tool you have, and most people will not use every single tool they have because they're afraid. They don't know how to control it. They don't want to acknowledge it. They're afraid of being judged. They want to stand out. They want to be different. They want women to acknowledge them. But they have so much doubt of what greatness and the unforgiving race actually requires to win over and over again. We all have fear. We all have fear, but these individuals have so much doubt. Think about the times where everything was going wrong. Nothing was going right. What kept you going? What kept you going? You were in that place. What kept you going? That was your dark energy. When does a new day start? At midnight. If a new day starts in the dark, why are you afraid to use your dark side for your new beginnings?
tell ourselves the story, we play the only part we've ever known, and then that part becomes our own and we don't know how to separate it. So we understand praise manipulates. We'll accept your own praise. Your mind says if you say it, it must be true, which is why self-criticism goes in and does so much damage, and self-praise goes in and does so much repairing, because the most important words you'll ever hear are the words you say to yourself.
You have too many individuals out there that are not writing their own story. They're letting other people write those stories for them.
So the first thing is, that's the first big problem right there. First big problem is that you have put a lot of people above you, put no one above you, no one.
And how many times have we given up on a dream because we were mocked by the people around you? And all I'm suggesting to you is when you get laughed at, ridiculed, and when people don't understand your next level of world class, that just means you've got a great dream, and that just means you're on the path of growth.
But momentum requires you always do the next thing to keep the momentum going. And the reason you get yourself in a passionate place is so that you change your life, and the only thing that changes your life is making a decision.
And nothing will happen in this world. Everything will happen wonderfully well, even if you're not there. Every human being should be aware of this every moment of his life. It does not matter what the whole world says about it. It does not matter how significant a work you're doing. You must understand that tomorrow morning the world will go on fine without you, whoever you may be. If you constantly remind yourself of this, you'll have no reason to be serious.
Everything I didn't want to do is what got me to where I'm at today. Every single thing. So where we find comfort, that's where I started getting scared. When I started saying, oh, it's raining, I'm not going out there. No, you cannot say that. You cannot do that. You have got to do this.
So while you're in this passionate state, that's where you make decisions. If you make a decision in a state without momentum, if you make a decision from a place where there's no passion, you are not going to get momentum. It'll kill momentum. It's decide, commit, and resolve.
Truly, that you make things happen so that the person you are starting tomorrow is more of who you know you truly are. Most individuals, your mind will make a decision. Say, we're going to do this. Your feelings always make suggestions. When you fail, your feelings give you excuses. Your mind makes you more resilient.
There are things that you know that you must focus on, but it scares you. I want you to look at where in your life that story is robbing you of your dreams, and where it is giving you an excuse to avoid the things that you know you need to do.
People will point out your weaknesses, but there's a big difference between your weaknesses and your flaws. Your flaws are your gifts, and people are so busy trying to deal with their flaws and change their flaws when their flaws are actually allows them to stay in that race.
Everyone's good at something. You know, you're not meant to be good at everything. It's no good being a jack of all trades and a master of none. So be really good at what you're good at, and don't worry about what you're not good at, because we're not all supposed to be good at the same thing. Find your talent, you know. Find out what you love to do. What you're meant to do lies directly behind and is absolutely linked to what you love to do.
So how do I do it? How do I turn my dreams into reality? What's the first thing anyone does before they start their day?
You wake up.
The life you dream to live is hidden within the choices you avoid every day. Start to make some of those choices, and the life you dream to live becomes your reality.
Most of us, we live in a box, and we don't want to go outside that box at all, ever. Outside that box is all these possibilities of life. But what we do is we shackle our mind. We are a prisoner in our own mind that this is all I can do. This is all I'm good at. And we take away the possibilities of you can be this, you can be all these things. What people understand is that they live for themselves, not knowing that you have the power within yourself to change millions of lives by facing life, by facing yourself.
If you can master your emotions, if you can master the things that you know you need to be doing and actually do them, that's how you get anything you want in life. A lot of our time on a daily basis is spent convincing ourselves to do the things that we know we should be doing. It's half of our life we waste trying to convince ourselves to go, and then you realize a day has gone by, a day has gone by. Consistency is the only answer to anything.
If you don't want your ship to capsize in a storm, you steer into the waves. You plow into the waves. If you turn the stern of your boat away, you're going to get swamped. If you go sideways to the waves, you're going to get swamped. Stand there on that deck, get a hold of that wheel, and you steer into the storm, into the waves, and you get out the other side, and no storm lasts forever. Don't quit.
Only person who can judge you on your success is you, because you're the only one who knows how much left in the tank you really had. And the better you get, you start winning exteriorly. And that's when people are like, it felt so empty. It's because they didn't actually work as hard as they could have. They just worked hard enough to beat everyone else. But that discrepancy between how hard you could have worked to work your hardest versus what was required in order to win, to me, that's the opportunity that's shifting towards the work being the goal.
It's a lifestyle, really, and an understanding that every day you're trying to get better, right? You get better today, you try to be better today than you were yesterday, right? And so the test that I always did ever since I was a kid, and at the end of every day, you look yourself in the mirror and you ask yourself, did I get better today? If the answer is yes, and you do that for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, how much better are you going to be? And that's, are you getting better every single day? That's the question.
If you were to leave your car in the driveway for like 5 years and then tried to start it up again, what do you think would happen? You'd probably have a hard time getting it out of the driveway. A car is only a car when it moves you from point A to point B. And if you leave a car sitting dormant in the driveway, it's no longer a car, it is a decoration in your driveway. And human beings are no different. Human beings are human beings so long as they are doing things, creating things, building things, moving, exercising. If you sit there sedentary, doing nothing but consume information, well, you're not being a human being at all. We are meant to build. We are meant to create. And once we stop doing those things, we stop being human altogether. We become, just like the car on the driveway, a decoration, but in our house.
We have a bunch of people that want to point fingers and defer responsibility off to anything and everything except the one thing that can change their entire lives. And that's looking in the fucking mirror and saying, you did this to me, you made me this way, and I'm gonna fix it. And I'm gonna fix it by controlling all the things I can control. I'm gonna control what I eat. I'm gonna control what I drink. I'm gonna control how I move. I'm gonna control the information I put in my brain. I'm gonna control how I treat people and who I surround myself with. And if you control those things, you are now in the driver's seat to create what it is you've always known that you were here to create.
Be sad, but get up. You can't stay stuck forever. If there was ever a time to turn things around, it's now. Stop waiting for things to feel normal again. You need to be the one to take the first step. Put in the effort. Make the decision today, because the only person that can save you is you.
In life, people emulate the end result, not the process. The end result is what they see and they emulate that. But Kobe scored that 61. That day he was practicing. He practiced his whole life. Are you willing to put in that sort of commitment Are you willing to practice your whole life? Yeah, sure you want to be on a jet and all that, but do you want to put in that work? That's what it takes for something great, that amount of time, that level of commitment.
We're trying so hard in our lives to fit in. We try to fit into certain groups, among certain friends, yet the people we idolize are the ones that stand out. But when you're prepared, there is no fear. There is no fear of failure, okay? Because even if you've walked out of something and feel like you failed at it, your preparation is so strong that you're gonna take that failure and turn it into the outcome you desire. And most people stop at failure, okay? We've all failed at things. I'm gonna continue to fail at stuff, right? It's the most powerful tool you can use. It's that drive inside of you, okay? It's what we talk about, the dark side. The dark side is filled with failure, but it's the fuel that burns you like something that's never burned inside you before.
Privilege of a lifetime is being who you are. I don't care what you have to say about me. This is who I am. The good and the bad, the mess, the beauty, the joy. The privilege of a lifetime is being who you are.
There's been many, many people that have just put their foot down and said, enough, I'm going to change my life. And they don't take any excuses, and they feel way, way better.
Everything in life that's hard is just a series of things that are easy. You just have to take that first step. Taking that responsibility for yourself and committing to yourself to say, I'm going to take action and I'm going to make it happen.
There is no easy road to what you want. It's a long road.
The emotionally immature man seeks out motivation to do something hard one time. The emotionally mature man uses discipline to do something hard 1,000 times.
You can have that conversation and you could stop seeking approval. You can stop asking for permission to get after your goals and dreams. And here's why. Because if you stay silent and you let that time go by, what you're going to allow is for resentment and regret to build up. Resentment towards the people that you felt like were stifling your goals and dreams, who weren't giving you the permission, validation, or approval. And regret for the fact that you chose to not lead yourself into chasing your goals and dreams. People want this to be cut and dry. They want this to be easy. They want it to be quick. They want it to be painless. There's nothing easy, quick, and painless about being fucking great at building anything in life, creating anything in life, becoming anything in life. You are going to suffer. It is going to be hard. It is going to take all of your energy. It's going to kick you in the fucking face 1,000 times. You're going to be demoralized. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to be angry. You're going to be bitter sometimes. This is why it's so important to build yourself into someone who can execute regardless of what your mood is, regardless of what your circumstances is, because if you can execute when things are f***ed up and everybody else fails and everybody else quits, what kind of advantage does that give you over the long haul? It gives you a tremendous advantage. And if you can become the kind of person that cannot be stopped by outside circumstances or going through a tough time or being in a bad mood or being unmotivated, how can anyone beat that?
You're going to lose sleep. You'll doubt whether it'll work. You'll stress to make ends meet. You won't finish your to-do list. You'll wonder whether you made the right call and have no way to know for years. This is what hard feels like, and that's okay. Everything worth doing is hard, and the more worth doing it is, the harder it is. The greater the payoff, the greater the hardship.
Someone will save you, but it's you. Future you, the better you. The person that you've been waiting to become.
Most people, for most ideas, either don't do anything with it or will slowly make a little bit of progress over time. Taking that responsibility for yourself and committing to yourself to say, I'm going to take action and I'm going to make it happen. But we need to commit to taking action right away on things.
It's impossible for you to accomplish anything worthwhile in life without the ability to concentrate single-mindedly on one thing at a time and stay with it until it's complete. In fact, time and motion studies have shown that if you start a task and you put it down and you come back to it and pick it up and start it and put it down and come back to it and pick it up, that it will take you as much as 500% of the necessary time to do a task than if you picked it up and carried it through.
No one has any idea if it's going to work. That is a painful cost of trying to do things with no promise that they're going to succeed. If you knew that it was going to work, there would be no risk in doing it. You haven't been given this bespoke, idiosyncratic challenge that only you have to face. This is what every person who gets from a place that they are to a place that they want to be has to go through, because you need to try things with no promise that they're going to work.
What are you doing when you're stuck? Man, you're dwelling. When you're stuck and not moving, you're thinking about all the reasons why. When something you're working on is not progressing and it feels like it's at a standstill and you are just stuck, man, it is so hard not to just like sit in a place of dwelling and being so angry at all the decisions that you made to get you here. It is always like the worst feeling, because it basically compounds the negativity and in turn creates the negative energy that just makes the entire thing worse and something else bad happens. It is just the epitome of when you are not in a state of putting energy into your situation or creating a new outcome, a new lane, a new direction, of when you get stuck in your mind, the deepest and the darkest.
You have to work every single day. I think that's where your confidence comes from. Because when nobody's looking, that's the time that really counts. That's the time that really matters. The working out at 5, 6 a.m. and then all the practices and all the extra conditioning, that work that you do every single day is key. Because that's what you're gonna be able to fall back on. And that's what you're gonna be able to rely on when push comes to shove.
I had big dreams. A lot of us have big dreams, big goals. And when you have goals that are maybe outside your reach, you have to know that getting to that goal, you're gonna have a lot of bad days. When I fail, I can't spend much time in that fail zone. I have to be able to get up and get after the next day just as fast.
I think the easiest thing in life is to give up on whatever you're focused on or whatever you're hopeful for. The hardest thing is to continue to keep going, but we have to. We have to continue to hold on. And I would imagine for so many people out there, that is probably the most difficult thing.
If you give up on your dreams, what do you have left? Nothing.
Everything that you want but you don't have is outside of your comfort zone. And what I have learned in my potential path journey is that there are trade-offs all along the way. At every critical juncture in a person's life, if they want to go to the next level, they don't go to the next level by just stepping up. They go to the next level by realizing they've got to give something up to go there.
If you think that action is the end-all be-all, you end up doing action for the sake of doing action, right? So I feel like I should always be doing and doing and doing, but sometimes you're just supposed to be. And oftentimes just sort of being there and sitting there and being still is where really great insights come from. And this is also where happiness comes from. It's hard to be happy and appreciate and feel gratitude when you're just moving all the time.
It's all mental, and people don't get it. And everybody wants to say, okay, well, here go 10 steps to, okay, Lewis said do 8, E.T. said do 9, this person says this is 12 steps, and everybody's trying to get the steps without the mentality. It's like, okay, maybe you don't need all 9, or maybe you don't need all 8, maybe you need 4, maybe you need 12, I don't know. But I think sometimes they see what we do and say, if I can duplicate that, it's like exactly how it's done in the book, exactly how, and it's like, yo, you have a story. You have a unique experience. And so your 12 are shaped by not just your world, but how your world has shaped your thinking.
The very first step is you have to become aware of your current thinking. Most people don't realize that their thoughts are in the toilet, that they're listening and to themselves say negative things about 70,000 times a day. There are things like, I'm not good enough, it's not going to work out, this stuff works for other people. Works for the people in the secret, but it doesn't work for me. They want to do things, but they think the economy's wrong, the president's wrong, the timing is wrong, I don't have enough education, I don't have enough experience. All of these kinds of negative thoughts keep people shut down.
what does like an ideal day of your life look like? Like maybe not right now, but like what do you want a day in your life to look like? Some people it's like, my dream life is being on a beach in Bali. Well, what does that actually cost? Could you have that now? Do you have to have a life that you don't like so that at the end of it, potentially you're lucky enough to go there? Or could you find a way to get that now? I think about this on a regular basis. Is my life resembling what those days are supposed to look like? And if I have too many days in a row that don't resemble what I want my day to look like, I go, I'm having the opposite of success.
They don't go for their dreams. They react to life. They kind of crawl through life with no enthusiasm, no sort of energy, and no belief in themselves or the possibilities of something better. What the law of attraction is teaching people is that you have a choice. You can change your thinking. These thoughts that we're having them. We're not them. If we can detach enough to go, oh, here comes that I'm not good enough thought again, and let it go by, we are one step removed from it.
It's not, if you really want something bad enough, it's not going to be easy. And you can see where you want to go. But there are so many things you're going to have to go through to get there. But truly, if you focus and know where you want to end up, you'll be there. It may not be at the exact time you want, which is now kind of immediate for most people, but you'll eventually get there at your time when you're supposed to.
We're constantly creating stories. Most of the time, these stories are not facts. They're facts within our own consciousness. We believe they're facts, but the truth of the matter is that they are. Most of it is a lowercase t and not a capital T.
You don't want to hit rock bottom, but you have to create your own mental rock bottom so that you don't hit rock bottom. It's not the money, the network. It's not, the vision board. It's, I believe, for those of us who are where we are, it's something within, and you can't go buy that. I can't give it to you. Lewis can't. Like, you got to go within and find that and pull that stuff out.
You're not trying to get to perfection right now. You're just trying to get a little bit better than you were yesterday or an hour ago.
You make choices in your life. You program your mind to either be happy or not. That's a choice that you make. It's not something that somebody else makes for you. It's not even your situation. No matter what the situation, you truly do make the choice to be happy in that situation or not. I think we doubt ourselves more than anybody else ever doubts us. So, and I fight that too. I fight that every day. I think the routines that I have, my routines are very simple. I find out what the job is, and I bust my ass to get it done.
If you lose, cry for a day. And if you celebrate, if you win, celebrate for a day. And what we do is when we lose, we cry for a month. And when we win, we just move on, which means that our negative experiences hold us back and weigh us down more than our positive experiences. So we're actually allowing, because we don't immerse ourselves in winning and growth, we only submerge ourselves in negative experiences.
And this is where things like affirmations, positive thinking, positive statements, instead of saying I'm not good enough, begin to say I am good enough. Begin to say this can work out for me. If this material has worked for other people, why can't it work for me too? I'm human, they're human, and you can start to rebuild your software of the mind, if you will. And these are all elements. And then there's, we can get into details like what you're going to tend to bring into your life, the things that you think about a lot. Most people think about the things they're afraid of, the things that they're worried about. I tell people, why don't you start thinking about the things you love, the things you're passionate about. You're going to go in a new direction. You'll be happier, you'll be healthier, you're going to have better momentum, better enthusiasm.
We're attempting to remind people of is that the beauty is in the dance. It's in the hits. A lot of people want to avoid the hits. We want to avoid any pain and maximize all the pleasure and just avoid the pain. And for me, this is how I have become me. But the reality is, in the force of the unknown, in the testing realm is what we call it. In the testing realm, this is where all of the magic happens. That you're never gonna land. There's never gonna be a time where you're like, yep, I'm done. Within 5 years of someone retiring, that they usually die. Because once you don't feel like you have a purpose, what else is there?